every company kind of comes down to the people, I think, in the long run and who are there. It seems like Tesla, although they do have a lot of turnover, sometimes at the top, that they just attract a lot more talent than some of their competitors. Why do you think that is?
Oh, I love this. This is an amazing question. And probably one of the most underappreciated edges of Tesla and SpaceX is a company is just a group of people. And Elon Musk is, if you look at the studies, like engineering students, number one place they want to work, SpaceX. Number two, Tesla. This is like the biggest bottleneck for becoming a disruptive tech company. You need these amazing engineers and like this pipeline. And I think Tesla has it because where else would you work on a cutting edge project to really change the world? Like Pete Bannon, he's the guy who came from Apple to work on the chip for Tesla's AI. So I talked to him at the Autonomy Investor Day after. I'm like, you could have done anything in the world. Why would you do this? And it's like, because this actually matters. This is exciting. This is amazing. Like, why is Andre Karpathy going from Stanford professor to do it AI, teaching his AI vision class at Stanford to doing it at Tesla? Because like, well, I could teach it in the classroom, or I could actually build this thing that millions of people will use that will change the world. Like, these are exciting, ambitious projects. And I think Tesla moves fast. They're like a startup. They give you stock options. And I think Elon Musk genuinely is an incredible CEO who like pushes you to do your great work. So this combination has created an unbelievable environment for engineering talent that's only rivaled by like Apple or Amazon or Google, or, that's the ballpark of like top 5 engineering companies in the world. And SpaceX, is Ford and GM really going to compete here? That's where I'm like, it just doesn't seem like they even have a chance.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that I'm tasked with here as we kind of deep dive into Tesla is evaluating the leadership and culture there. And so how would you compare, you just kind of did this a little bit, but how would you compare the culture at Tesla? We compare the people with that of the kind of legacy competitors in the auto space.
Night and day. Super flat culture, like super cutthroat like Amazon. Like I think you really have to work hard at Tesla, and that's why there's a lot of turnover. And I think it was totally misconstrued. Like the short sellers, like this guy leaves after a month, and it's like, yeah, because they bring in all these big executives from GM and Toyota, and half the time they show up on day one, and Elon's like, do this, and they're like, well, I've been doing it this way for 30 years. And Elon's like, you're out, and like that's the kind of cutthroat, intense culture. But like that's what happened at Amazon earlier in the day. It's almost still kind of does. It's sort of like a place for like A+ people that want to work insanely good and get themselves better and change the world. And that's a very unique mold. And so if you don't fit that, you're probably not going to, make it. But the people who I know work for Tesla and work there for years, I mean, when they do find a fit, they love it. It's their favorite job. They work there for a really long time, like probably some of the smartest people I've ever met, and just really interesting, like the way they think about company culture and they work for Tesla. And so being close to the company, working with them has really like led me to be like, wow, these are incredibly smart, just passionate, talented people.
Yeah. And I think anybody who's maybe visited some of those big legacy car companies and seen their headquarters, I meum, these are gigantic bureaucratic towers where they have executive dining rooms. That it's the antithesis of collaboration and collaborative problem solving, which we see so much among the tech community. I wonder how much you think it matters that, and I want you to chime in on that too. But Tesla's in California. The other automakers, they're in Detroit, certainly Munich, Tokyo. How much difference is it in California? And now we hear that Tesla might be pulling out of California. I wonder if that hurts their ability to attract some of those people. What if they go to Texas or somewhere else?
Yeah. I hope they retain operations in Silicon Valley. It's very unclear what will happen with San Francisco, Silicon Valley with the whole new normal, but that's the hotbed for engineering and software talent, which is Tesla's secret sauce at every business and product layer is software and engineers. And so I think that's a huge advantage. But the other thing I was thinking is like incentives. When you talk about these executives, like Elon Musk takes no salary and has this massive stock package with extremely lofty, ambitious goals. Like he's only getting rich if I get super rich as a shareholder, and his majority of his net worth is in Tesla stock. Like this is, could not be a more perfectly aligned incentive system. Mary Barra, the Ford CEO, all these executives, do you really think they care what the stock does? Or are they just getting paid millions of dollars? And like, they don't have an incentive to think 10 years down the road because they're going to be retired and gone. So that's another very key point is the incentive structure of management just is not catering to innovation at these large companies.
Yes, certainly Elon Musk is, his structure is all in. Like he's got to meet targets. And then as you mentioned, he gets really wealthy when he does that. When we look at leadership, at least when I do, there's a couple things that I like. One is they have to be capable. Second, they have to be honest. Third, they have to be hardworking. And then the last one is align with shareholders. You mentioned the alignment of his incentives. Are there any one of those that you think is a risk to Tesla from outside? So like capable, honest, hardworking, and aligned are the four. What do you think the biggest risk is there?
I think the biggest risk is capable because something happens to Elon Musk and he is not leading the company anymore, which is like a really sad kind of dark thing. But I think, realistically, like that's the biggest risk. But
Yeah.
my motto as an investor is like, you show me a company where the CEO is so amazing that there's a key man clause that this company could be destroyed if he leaves because he's that amazing. That's the company I want. Like, it's almost to me like, yeah, it sucks. But the flip side of that is like, I have the world's best CEO and that's who I want to invest in. And so if we lose him, it sucks. But
Yeah, yeah. The one I have a little bit of problem with is on the honest part of it. And I think like he is so laser focused on attaining his goals, and his compensation is super aligned with that as well. But sometimes I think he's willing to do anything to kind of achieve those goals. And we've seen some of the Twitter things about the potential investments or buyouts where that and the kind of conflicts with the SEC that I sometimes worry about those all. And I'd like to see some of his, instead of just the big audacious goals. I like that, but maybe put some clauses in there or some incentives that are aligned with like, don't make the SEC mad at you. That's not
yeah,
great. Yeah,
Elon's going to be Elon. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know what to, yeah.
yeah. He said that and he's acted that way
It's
too.
unavoidable.
Yeah.
Yeah.